Hey everybody, 15 minutes till we're live. Is anyone looking forward to seeing this game? It's been described as very difficult to watch, but it's the one that patrons voted for us to watch. So here we are. AJ, yeah, hey, we've heard so much hype about it. Oh, is hype the right word? Oh, we've got a kind of mauve. Oh, maybe just a straight purple for the chat color today. No, I've never watched it all through. I've seen, like, as with everyone, like, I've seen the bad highlights, the lowlights. But yeah, I haven't seen how it escalated, how it spiraled into that. So should be interesting. Did you vote for it, AJ? I think the option that almost won was GB versus Condors in the Windmill final, and then there was a mixed game, maybe Reading versus Root, maybe. Why is it always Root that we do mixed? Gotta sort that out. Cool, 13 minutes. I got Benji on Discord, and I'm waiting for Stefan. Hey everybody, so yesterday Mama Scene is indeed the Japan-Canada game. I don't know whether you voted for it, but the patrons voted to see it. It might be hard to watch, but it's what the people wanted us to watch. So we've got Benji and Stefan here. Hey guys.
Oh, yeah, Felix.
Yeah.
Benji, good to hear your voice again too, of course.
Oh, thanks, Stefan.
But yeah, I'm excited to go over this game with a Felix analysis kind of viewing situation on it with you, Benji, of course. But yeah, it was nuts being there. It just from a production standpoint, in the Ulti TV days, this was very beginning, early days of production, and even just how much broadcasting has got better for our sport is awesome. But from our point, I still remember like meeting Liam Rosen, who was the commentator for the call moments before the game. We were I think he was working with Sky, doing some writing, said, yeah, I'll come over and do a game with you guys. And we were like, okay, I think I ran over from one field straight to the game. We had no chairs, no table to sit at, and we were just walking up and down the sideline trying to ask the players for what's your number, what's your name, can you, and then, they would send us over to somebody else. Go talk to him. I'm busy with my warm up. Go talk to somebody else. So really started the game with like a full roster sheet and no order to it, with no real gauge on what pronunciation and everything was. So I think at halftime we got a little bit more help from coaches, but it was a wild start even just from that perspective.
I mean, watching it back, for the context outside of the game as well, both Canada and Japan were undefeated in all divisions going into this game. I think USA had to game either to Canada or Japan somewhere else in the tournament. This was, a power pool matchup, which was the big matchup. The winner of this, the theory was, the other games, and then go be on the other side of the bracket, USA. So it was, it's a big game.
All right, awesome. Yeah, Stefan, I'm going to hopefully show some photos of you and Liam commenting that you sent me earlier in the week.
Oh man, they're so good.
I still don't understand why you're positioned as you are. Okay.
It was a long game. We were up and down.
Right, the audio sounds good. Chat, let me know if that all sounded fine at the right levels, or well, let me know if not, I guess. Hello to Dom and Aaron, and AJ and Joe. This game has more quarterback sacks than 2019 Rams, Dom. I don't get the reference, but I get the what you mean. So it's true. This is the least spirited game. I'm a little bit sad about showing my nephew it because he's just learning about Ultimate. So this is not a typical game, Aaron. Don't learn from this one too much. Sweet. I'm going to run a quick Patreon advert and type the link. So if you want to support the stream, if you're enjoying the show, then become part of the community. And yeah, we'll go live immediately after it finishes, so about 3 minutes. Enjoy Felix Ultimate videos, and you can find bonus content at patreon.com/FelixUltimate. This is where you can see the best clips from live streams, get early access to upcoming YouTube analysis videos, see behind the scenes material, and even commission me to analyse footage of you playing. Patronage is the way I can continue doing what I'm doing, so if you value the work, please support it today. There's even a tier if you just want to watch more videos of my cat Rue, and we all know that's the real reason you're here. Okay, everybody. Time to alt-tab to the window. Going to turn the camera on, and we'll go live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. I'm Felix from Felix Ultimate. Today, I'm joined by two of the best commentators in the world and two of the people that I love to hang out most with at tournaments. It's Benji Rees and Stefan Rappazzo. Hey, guys.
Hey, Felix.
Hey, I'm doing good. So we're going to try not to always talk over each other, but there's like 3 people in the chat and we can't, see each other face to face. So yeah, we'll make it work. If anybody is new to the stream, then it's like an analysis stream. So we're taking our time, like going through the footage rather than just a watch party. We'll do lots of rewinding and stuff and looking at the strategy. This particular game is like the worst spirited game in the history of filmed Ultimate. Is that fair to say, guys?
I mean, it's got to be what if it's not the worst. It's so high up there.
And if it's not the worst, it's the most watched, poorly spirited game. Anyways, it's probably the one that garnered the most attention or the potential for poor spirit in a highlight.
Yeah, I think it's got like 125,000 views on YouTube. And then the lowlights, the like highlights of the bad plays, have got also 125,000 views.
Infamous game in the history of the sport, I think.
Yeah.
We've got another reference there from AJ, the 2016 double wide Florida U United. I don't think we've got a clock on that one.
Yeah, yeah. As with the zone that was like super double teamy and stuff, right?
Essentially, Florida. I mean, I'm going to use this term. I'm not using this derogatory, but like Florida United as a team, they're quite goony in the sense that they're just kind of tall and big. I think they tried to put like a lot of big guys in the cup, and I think at times it got a bit too close and over physical.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I mean, as people realise who are watching them, we're going to interact a lot with the chat. I've asked Benji and Stefan to keep their eyes on it, and I will as much as I can as well, but I'm controlling the video too. We've got nice smooth replays now. So let's just hop straight into it, shall we? What's this, the second round? It's pool play. Stefan, you maybe have a better insight as to what round or whatever it is.
Of pool play, as Benji mentioned, both countries had undefeated throughout the tournament. I think Australia Masters had knocked off the US, or they would have been part of that as well. But towards the tail end, right before power play allocations, and both were definitely. This was a huge game to avoid the US in the crossover, and yeah, neither of them made it to the final. Japan did win. They get to the better side of the bracket, but avoid the US. But neither do make the final here.
Oh yeah, at some point I'd love to watch that Japan versus Sweden quarterfinal because it's like it's a clinic in basically just being cool.
That was an awesome game too. I think I was on the call for that. I can recall.
So 2008 was the last time that countries met together to play World Championships before this tournament. And Canada won. They beat USA in the final in Vancouver, their home turf.
So they're defending champs, I guess, from a WGC perspective, and Japan looking to do the same thing, win one on home turf. But it was they had the fields were weirdly sectioned off. The spectators weren't quite there at the beginning of the game, but when they started to arrive, they could only be in the end zones behind.
Oh, really? Okay. So Canada looks like a horizontal stack.
Yeah, very clear. There's an intent by the Japanese defenders. They're backing the Canadian receivers, forcing them under, and they've got that little bit of a sag on the handlers as well, just to try and stop try and up those lanes slightly.
Okay, let's have a look there. I want to focus on the player who starts off on the mark here, because it looks like he does loads of flash poaching, where he as soon as the disc is thrown, he sprints downfield. The separation here and how close he is to that disc is pretty impressive, right? And Canada are always going to look downfield first, as most Ultimate players do. And so he gets right up to that lane, and he's not worried about the early swing. I think that was Oscar Pottinger with the disc. And
Yeah, he's wearing those ankle braces.
he's in there again. You see? And it's causing problems, because all the other, like you said, all the Japanese players are behind, and so they come under, but then the under is stifled by this other defender. So then the free player is over on this side. Yeah, Oscar Pottinger was so good. It pains me to think that maybe this was his last tournament.
Pottinger, I mean, this is a cross-sport reference. Pottinger always reminded me of Peyton Manning in the sense that running spaces, but also because he always just seemed to be kind of bouncing on his feet whenever he had the disc.
Nice reference. I like that.
Okay.
Legend in Canadian Ultimate. That's for.
Yeah, his hammers. I remember. Yeah, and he's very like tight, like kind of muscly body. It seems like.
Yeah.
From what I remember of his technique. Sorry.
It's off his feet too. He lays out really well in the 08 championship. He was bidding all over the place defensively.
Looks like he was quite physical on the mark just then. All right, first call. Okay, so let's rewind a bit. This was the mark I was talking about. Yeah, like this. It's constant fouling, which isn't that unusual, but it's definitely like physical.
I mean, Steph, you've got more experience with North American Ultimate, but certainly, 8 years ago, when this was, that was certainly much more common than just those little bumps on the mark.
Yeah, practically coached. I wasn't right into the club's huddles, but it seemed like it was part of the culture to that kind of in-your-face defense, whether from a coverage or a marking kind of perspective. We're very, very physical. So I think almost away with what they could.
I think this is why the game stops. I think this Japanese player calls foul. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe the play stopped already, but they're definitely talking a little bit. If that's not the foul, then what is the foul? Is it on the mark?
I think it's a bump on the mark because it's the second bump from the same marker.
Right.
Oh, 2 throws earlier, 3 throws earlier.
I thought that was over here. Let's have a quick look. So yeah, okay. He throws. Goes over far side. He's clearing out over here. Goes back. He comes across. No, so it's a different marker, but it looks like a bump. And there's definitely chat going on here after the hand went out. I'm going to turn up the volume just very briefly, and you can hear Stefan on the commentary.
I actually thought it was interesting.
That's Liam. But yeah, Stefan's there. Oh, I like the idea. Oh, almost.
Interestingly, certainly in the first half, Japan are actually more happy than the Canadians are. We'll see this as the half progresses. This one doesn't work, but it becomes very effective for them pretty soon. That time is just taking advantage of the force being off a few meters, so he's got the space to put that inside out through the middle of the field.
Yeah, you're definitely spot on with that, Benji. I think the Canadians were backing their height quite a bit against the Japanese and maybe begging them to go deep, playing the unders more aggressively. And the Japanese, they proved to not have been too afraid to take those chances.
Quite physical. And there's another call. So, I mean, I could see bits of contact happening, and that is more the offense running into the defense here. And then over here, you see the defender kind of holds his ground, and yeah. So there's little bits of contact which isn't bad at the moment. It's just okay, it's a physical game. But why does it stop? Is it foul on the mark?
I think as he's going across that backhand, I think there's contact. Right. Thinking about the pivot here, it starts quite downfield, looking at that sort of channel. Yes, hex-wise, we're thinking more just face totally inwards and get the disc moving, and get it off that sideline.
Yeah, that's kind of where you want to face if you're facing the center of the space, because the space is center of the space is over here. But traditionally, a lot of players will. Oh, I don't want to just draw. Traditionally, a lot of players will kind of focus down here, and they'll be able to see over here potentially. Being on the front corner, it can get a bit crowded. But it's good. It's good defense. I mean, Canada are like, he's attacking this player, being like, whichever way he commits, I'm going to go the other way. Yeah, this is what someone on Reddit was talking about. So he's seeing where he's trying to get him to commit, and then he'll go one way or the other. But I think that the Japanese player, yeah, he kind of stays close enough that actually when he makes that move, then this player's kind of getting in the way. Anyway, let's go past the stoppage.
Just tell John Hassel on the field with that backwards white ball cap.
Okay. Oof. That was a laser through the middle. Nice quick movement.
This is just really nice, using the width of the field. Canada not seeing the up the line, going back into the centre, working it all the way across. Then this is just a nicely timed cut.
Yeah, where does he come from? Let's see.
I think it's just front centre. And actually, they've done a decent job of spacing themselves out a little bit here, which would, I guess, make it more difficult for Japan to poach off.
Yeah, and I think I think this defender looks over his left shoulder to try and check where the disc is, and in fact, it's already moved over here, and so then he's able to. He's not able to react fast enough compared to the Canadian player cutting to that front corner.
And then Wong, who caught that goal, he's the one who dropped it earlier in the point to
really?
give Japan the break opportunity.
Right.
Yeah, Joe. By the way, Joe, you're right. Yeah, like it was known as the Canada being terrible, but yeah, Japan, as you say, they were also a bit bumpy and tight on those marks.
Yeah. Before we get into this next point, I just want to so just to so you guys have a bit of context. This game was so bad that Furious George released a statement afterwards. Furious George being the Canadian team, basically.
It was Ultimate Canada.
It was Ultimate Canada that released it. Okay. And published on the Furious George website. Can you guys see that? Yeah. So it says our mistake in the game against Japan is that at some point we allowed ourselves to believe that our opponents were trying to do us wrong. When the temptation to believe that presented itself, we indulged in it. We revoked the benefit of the doubt. In the face of conflict, we escalated. Our players became visibly agitated, emotional, and reactionary. Both teams escalated in their own way, but in the end, we made some terrible decisions. It was not the game we wanted to play. Sometimes this happens, but it is an extra shame that it had to happen on this stage.
Particularly like the bit a couple of paragraphs down where it says the game is accessible free of charge, which is suitable because it is not much fun to watch.
yeah, I was going to intro the stream like, now we're going to watch a game that has been described as not much fun to watch. Welcome to the stream. It's a learning experience. And I've never seen it in full. I've never seen how it starts. I've never seen how it escalates. I've seen the individual clips, right? But I haven't seen the full thing. Kind of weird, like side cluster. Oof. Oh, that's unfortunate, right?
That actually doesn't look malicious to me at all.
No, it looks like he slipped and fell over. But it could be interpreted as malicious.
And then again, we're seeing there that very, what I consider a Japanese style huck in that it's kind of flat and zippy. It's more about just leading it into space rather than having it hang and letting a big receiver go up and get it.
Yeah. Is this Morgan Hibbert here with the backwards hat?
Yeah, I think he's 8.
Yeah, it is. I'm just seeing like on this cut over here, the amount of contact that happens. Is this the right moment? Oh yeah, no, it's this one over here. Just after this cut is kind of stopped. and the Japanese player stops, it's like he goes towards him with his hands out and stuff. I mean, it's kind of just called physical play at the moment and generally accepted, but someone starts doing that to me, I'm immediately like, nah, don't do that. Welcome Sarah to the chat. Yes, it is Stefan commentating. She asked, is it the worst game that you've ever seen live, Stefan?
For Spirit, without question. Yeah, but I mean, I think a lot of the physicality was lost until it was nearly over. Like there was such a high intensity and excitement over the course of the game that you looked past the individual incidents as they happened. It happened and you got on, but like we were right on the sideline. Like there was so much intensity. So yes, in hindsight, it was the worst game. But during the game, I was fully immersed in the game. It was still kind of awesome to be watching. It was this super high intensity that you could kind of past vicious nature of the fouling.
I just missed the end bit there. Sorry, just like the last couple of sentences, kind of cut out a little bit.
Yeah, I think what I was saying was you could kind of see past how vicious it was, how bad it was, because as a spectator, being so immersed in it, kind of trying to give life to it, breathe life into the game by talking about it was still exciting in the moment.
So that one that we just watched, I thought actually looked worse in slow-mo, because it doesn't look like he just loses his footing. It looks like the only chance he has is to like dive, and the guy's definitely going to be there catching it, and so he does dive. It's not like super fast diving, but he does throw his body to the ground into the guy's legs, and the disc is coming from behind, but like you don't lay out blind in front of you. So I think even that bit didn't look so bad live, but it looked a bit worse in the slow-mo.
If we just roll it back a little bit to the pre-assist pass here, it's quite, you're kind of taught to cut at angles, but it's quite a lateral cut that eventually leads to the goal.
Yeah, Japan loved the lateral cuts. And I wonder whether that's because they throw the disc so fast and accurate, or whether it's just that they appear from different angles more. Yeah, that cut there. Yeah.
Also, Liam, I definitely do not have enough beers with me to do that.
Saw that too. And I still, I think I want to defend myself. I know the bid, we'll talk about it. It is in this first half. A Gabe Sankia bid, we're going to see that he goes through the guy. And I do say great bid. Felix may show the pictures again. We were literally lying on our bellies with a team full of people in front of us. One of those calls you make in the moment. I saw a flying body bidding for the defense. It happened to go through a man, but the perspective was not as clear as all the pundits may believe it may have been. Oh yeah, there we are. Our bellies trying to see past people, about 10 meters back of the line. And it was, tough calls. So I've taken a bit of slack for some of those calls, but come on, you just call them like you see them. That's all you can get away with.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't worry about it. It's just Mike and Dom as well.
It's Mike and Dan Clinton.
Oh, yeah, Dan Clinton.
Oh, what happened to him?
Dom wouldn't have been born by then, would he? And that's Liam Rosen that Stefan's with. I haven't seen him in a while. Actually, I have, because of he talked about Skip, didn't he? He was living with him, wasn't he? That's a whole nother topic. Controversial.
It's crazy how far Ultimate's come in terms of coverage from now and then. I mean, the last World Championships, there were 4 pitches being streamed at any one time, and they all had multiple cameras and replays, and players who had full rosters and research and everything, as opposed to, no offense, Stefan, a lot of games you would literally just rock up at a pitch and just call it on the fly.
Yeah, often by number, not by name.
Yeah, and shout out to Mike Palmer for really kind of pushing that stuff forward across the world. I know that, you know, Liam has with Skyed and Ulti-World, of course, doing their amazing work. But Mike Palmer has got such drive to, like, he literally came over to Europe and was like, right, you guys have got to start doing this. This is how you do it. I want you, and you to work with me. Let's go. Right, now you guys do it. Okay, Mike. We got
Ball in motion.
I love what John Hassell's doing on this point. That first one looks down the line. As soon as it's not there, rather than focus, then, you know, that pivot infield. But he's keeping an eye on what's going on with the disc after he releases that. So as soon as his defender kind of poaches off to get in that lane, he just bounces it back outside to that space.
All right. It's like, I'm impressed at how fast. Oh, that was a weird travel, wasn't it?
Mm.
I'm impressed at how fast Canada moved the disc. Look, he drags it that way and then it jumps the other way.
Hop step on the release.
Yeah. And that throws harder than it looks as well. Catching here and not traveling. So Benji, you were talking about. Is that Morgan? No, that's Morgan, who was number 8, right?
That's Hassel, 38.
Oh, Hassel. I should know. I got to mock up against him. Oh yeah. And the defender goes in to have a look at that, and he immediately knows, just turn your hips, keep your hips facing the thrower, and shuffle backwards into the end zone. Yeah, very high skill from all the players there.
Still a pretty clean game at this stage. A bump, a tickle so far, but hasn't nothing out of hand.
Yeah.
Intensity.
It's a shame that this game is remembered purely for the spirit, because of the spirit, you know, it is terrible.
Does stand out.
There is some really nice ultimate in between it as well.
No, I wasn't Noah.
Tolley playing for Canada. He plays a lot in Europe with the Russian outfits, but that was while he was part of GOAT. The GOAT contingency. There's a few on defense there. Jeff Lindquist, I saw. Lee Nichols on that line with Morgan and a few others.
No, we can't do that incredible transition. Just after I big up Mike, and then it's just like this scuffed LTTV logo comes across the screen.
And there's Japan looking deep again. It's that kind of that zippy huck out into space.
And let's give them what they're not expecting, and they did it really well, Benji. You got worked out perfectly.
Again and again. Do what they're not expecting. Repeatedly. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you wouldn't expect them to just immediately look deep, especially because they're backing them when they're playing defense so much as well.
It's this immediate break, no hesitation break.
Is that Corona with the goal, number 6?
He is so good. Like, at this point, I think the majority of people were kind of aware of Matsuno, but some of the other talent as well is just stellar.
I think Korono, Chikawa, and Tanaka kind of made names for themselves in this campaign. They were the players that stepped it up. All Buzz Bullets players. But when I went to this tournament, the only Japanese name I knew was Matsuno. Mm-hmm. After this game, those were the other 3 big ones that
Kamimura to Corona. So I was on GB Open in 2011, but I wasn't on the squad for this subsequent year.
Everything going to plan. Every offensive possession has scored. It's 2-2. That disc is floaty.
Maybe one day I'll talk about why.
Huge pull. That thing stayed up there forever. Build a house.
facilities there in Japan and like I said, really well secured.
Liam, you're right about Samashima as well. He makes a few big plays in this game as well. This is the first time we're kind of seeing something a bit different defensively from Japan.
It almost looks zony, but I think they're just playing a man off here, putting a man in the lane. Maybe a bit of a straight up mark while they've got Canada in their own end.
Yeah, I always like seeing Japan play zoney. See how much they're looking around. Nice work from Canada. Yeah, that's the big space.
towards the center. Menzies looking. Surveys options, puts a backhand break to center. 11 far side, man to 91. Kirk Savage with the disc.
People are asking me. I guess I can briefly say about why I wasn't on GB for this cycle. Oh,
The greatest attempt.
Too far there.
yeah.
90. Savage to
This is a really it's a high risk, high reward throw for passenger. Trying to shoot deep when you're already that close. You've got such a narrow margin at the back of that end zone.
Yeah, I think he took off on the back line. But did he release it before he landed? Because that's always impressive if you can do that. Yeah, he released it well before he lands, but he took off from the line.
I think this becomes a little point of contention as well about where the disc comes in from, about whether or not the greatest was valid.
Japan with a
Oh right, yeah. So he was out already because he was on the line. So quickly about my GB experience. Like I had a really bad time in 2011. Not entirely because of GB, but partly because of GB and Clapham being like having another job, and I didn't really like blend with them very well. I didn't really make strong connections with them socially at all. Felt a lot of pressure and stress. Oh, was that almost a Callahan?
Not
Near
quite.
throwaway.
pretty much to the same spot. And
Ah,
almost to Callahan, but gets it on the very next throw.
right, okay.
Same spot. And back to 3, almost to Callahan, but gets it on the very
Just a miscatch, really. It was right off of his shoulder.
great defensive effort.
Should have had it, but it was a interesting option to a very small space.
Yeah, it went right through his chest, but yeah, it was like unexpected throw. So I was having a bad time in GB, and I was having a bad time in my personal life as well. And so, mental health suffered basically, and then physical health took a decline soon after that. And I wasn't enjoying playing, and I wasn't getting my release from playing like I normally get, and my situation wasn't kind of developing because I wasn't like fixing my mental health or my physical health, and so then I wasn't really in a state to be on the squad for 2012. So it's a bit of a shame because like I was only on the GB team briefly, and in 2007 I was invited onto GB, but I had a bad ankle, like I was injured at the time. So my kind of like my high level career kind of didn't really like get into like full steam when I was playing on Clapham and GB, but when I was playing on Brighton and we were coming third in the country, then kind of that's when I was kind of playing like golden years kind of things. Oh, hello, there's something going on now. And then playing GB Masters. That's what I'm really happy with. Is 2017 I played GB Masters on the beach, and I felt like I played to my potential then. So I was quite happy to have that after having the 2011 experience. Oh yeah, look. So
Yes.
can you
This
see
is the beginning of it.
the beginning? I'll put a big red circle around it. Look at this.
Even read Charlie Eisenhood's article on Ultiworld. He wrote about this, and there was some players defending this, that he was ab-stepping for his cut. But when you watch it now, when you watch this as we rewind it and go over it, like, it was a very clear knock. Like, it was just getting physical, to making the physicality part of the game. What happened right before, though?
Yeah. So this is the point, right? We're watching the whole point. Well, watching most of the point in the lead up to it. So trying to turn him. He's very close to him. He's getting his body in the way. There's a bit of shoulder, and then he stops, and he looks like he's apologetic after he does it. He looks like, oh, I didn't mean it to be that hard, because he's getting he's getting some jostling, but it wasn't bad until that point. And so he definitely escalated, I'd say, the Japanese player.
Yeah, and then Andy Collins, the Canadian player, gets up and lets it escalate further with the blatant shove after play stops.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're angry in that situation. You've just been knocked to the floor, so.
Yeah.
Very patient with the disc, not rushing anything, and the call made.
There's a cynic in me that thinks he's selling that a little bit. But
Seems amicable enough.
again, that's me being
Benji, because I think it saw it from Andy first, just mildly with a little bit of contact on that cut towards the sideline. You know, a physical coverage. Came back to the stack, blatant shove, and then the blatant retaliation. So where does this kind of, who's selling it? Who do you reckon is selling it?
I was in the sense of the little, oh yeah, there's a great catch in the back of the other end there. I was just thinking about, just maybe selling the little shoulder barge. I guess if you're kind of caught off guard by it, you would lose your balance. It's a shame that the camera's not a little bit more zoomed out earlier, so you can't quite see what's going on there the pitch.
Yeah. Okay, so let's have another look, because there's a bit of chat saying from Viz Productions. Is that Viz? No. That he just basically stopped when the Canadian guy ran into him. No, he definitely launches a bit. But on this previous cut, it's very, very, very close, and then he stops and he tries to come back, and the Canadian player's in his way, yeah, and there's a bit of arms there, so he's probably, and then he gets a second bump there as he's running back. So this is what antagonized him basically. Is boom, boom, and then that was definitely initiated by the Canadian player. So then he's back here, and the guy's right next to him. He's like, well, if you're going to be that close to me, then contact's going to happen, especially if I just stop and want to go this way. And then the guy's like, ooh, and he's like, oh god, okay, I didn't really mean to knock you to the floor there.
Jump on the left-hand side there is extremely physical as well. Roll it back a little bit.
The what on the left-hand side?
If you look at the player on that that far left channel, so he's going to get the disc off the sideline here.
Yeah.
And the Canadian mark, as he kind of pushed through to be a reset option, it's very physical as well. I mean, you can tell now that the physicality is ramping up. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's acceptable though, isn't it? That feels like the defender holding their position.
But as we, it's just kind of indicative of the fact that everything is beginning to have those tensions.
Oh, that message that you guys all heard was Stefan saying that he's dropped out of the Discord. So Stefan, if you can hear, just join the general voice channel and we'll drag you into the live stream channel. Yeah, cool. I'll fast forward the video back to where we were, and I'll message Stefan if he doesn't appear.
Sarah, I'd like to believe that Canadian coaches, maybe you're can tell them to, be a bit more physical, be a bit more intimidating, but I want to believe that, they're not, at this point at least, they're telling them not to be very, or telling them not to be fouling. Later on the sidelines, you can hear some pretty aggressive sidelining, but I think at this point, it's just kind of be the presence a bit more. Obviously, Stefan he can probably give a bit more insight.
Yeah, he's back now.
Yeah. What were we?
It's a bit of an ambitious bid, I'd say, right? Jumping up with the player down here underneath. I mean, it doesn't end up being loads of contact, but it's definitely a body flying through the air, and then he comes up and clips his heels. And he tries to kick the disc up, which is actually insanely skillful, but he can't stay on his feet. So, do you think this is do you think the Japanese player calls foul because he would have got the disc if it weren't for his leg being taken out? Because I think his ankle gets landed on, doesn't it? Yeah, his left ankle gets held back.
I'd say that's the only bit of the contact, the landing, which still constitutes a foul. I don't think it's dangerous play, though. I think he had a pretty legitimate chance to warrant that effort. But he fouls him. He lands on his ankles.
Hero Kim in the chat says that he's going for the double jump. Yeah, he should have tapped X again when he was in the air. Oh, that's a rough turnover. Just going for that zippy flick like the Japanese do, but
that's the wrong direction to shoot for that.
Right, because there's wind going from right to left. Yeah, so I think he could have had a second bid. I don't know if there's much discussion about that, but it seemed to be an uncontested turnover.
Get a note of that player. If that is Gabe Son Kia. Interesting input in the rest of this game.
Nice. What? Come on. What?
Sideline is calling it out. He's not sure.
That looked very in to me.
And I've rewatched it, so I won't give it away. But
like, yeah.
Mike is about to do your job for you as well.
Yeah, he is. Booing in the chat. Did anyone in chat think that was out the first time they watched it?
Before he touched it or immediately after?
Palmer, when that happened, was going nuts, begging the Canadian team to come check out. It wasn't actually video. There was a photographer who had a shot of it. And he was begging him to have a look at that because of that one went on for a little while. The discussion about.
Okay, Jake thought it was out, but it definitely wasn't. Yeah, I was either gonna ask Sarah whether you, from the Knights, you say near. It was near.
Just assumed it was Dutch.
Oof, that's not the right one, is it? Shame. Yeah, I didn't like that call. And they got the turnover from it. Oh, and then the layout D. Nice.
This is a great bid because he's right behind the Canadian receiver, but he just sees that the guy's just no awareness. So he comes all the way around, gets the D, and then this elevator backhand for the goal is gorgeous.
A beautiful throw that elevator.
I think 17 is Samashima.
Nice. Yeah, that was cool. I mean, it's interesting to see their setup where we're all kind of like they're in space themselves, and then they're like, "Oh, okay, he's looking at that option, so I can just close him down now," because it lulled Canada into being a bit static. Yeah, another classic situation where surrounding the stack would be real sweet, and we're lucky there's not a pick really. Yeah, I mean they're almost set up to do it, right? Like.
They're a little bit tight, but they are on the exterior there.
Yeah, which kind of means that they've got this space, and this space covered. But in order for that space to actually be covered, it means that you gotta stop this move. Like that defender has to take that move, and so on. But let's see what happens. Yeah, okay, so that player goes over there, and he's facing the disc rather than facing the group of three. So they're not really playing 3v3, or they may be doing reactionary moves because he does end up switching, but it's because the disc is long in the air by that point. So if they'd have preempted that and actually been like, yeah, we're three of us against three of them, then it would have delayed the score. Maybe it would have not been so easy.
Thanks for the confirmation, Liam. Moi Samashima, who is sister of number 17 here, she came over for Worlds in 2016, was involved in the Flick coaching clinic, which hugely improved my understanding of how Japanese defenses worked.
She also played a season in Melbourne with Michelle Phillips and Sporting Team Box Atletico United.
It's a very long team name.
Yes. Wow.
Also, the risk of putting Canadian defenders on blast. Adrian Yearwood, who is a very good defender. Yeah, it's like he's in the space, but he's not watching every player. He's just a little bit slow to get that peel off into that space.
middle of the field. Tries to squeeze a backhand through the middle and gets
Your foul on that throw.
awesome.
I love this Japanese zone. It sometimes looks like a 2-3-2, but it moves much quicker. And the on that center rung will stay on the mark, and the rest of the zone will reform around them. Very dynamic.
Yeah, they do. They fit in for each other. It's intuition gives it not enough credit because I think it's like they have their plan, but it's very adaptive and dynamic. In 2016, I could literally see the center player like counting how many offense and how many defense were like one side of them and the other side, so that they could know whether they should go towards the disc or away. So it's like a balanced zone. Yeah, they redistribute the players depending on where the offense are. I mean, this looks a little bit more zoney than that one. It looks, a little bit more positional than making sure that everyone's quite close to a matchup. Matsuno doesn't quite manage to get that one.
Andre Geilitz with the assist to John Hassel.
On Hassel. It's that goal. He's a monster. I rewatched the 08 one, the Hassel and Grant show. Really, they were assisting or scoring to one another nonstop. They must have had a little bit of scouting done on him before the game.
God, that was a great game, wasn't it? Versus, Alex Nord and Chase.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what a match.
Is it on YouTube somewhere?
Yeah, Tom Styles called that game.
Hell yeah, the OG.
I was there. I was on the sideline. I was watching that game. I think, Felix, did you say you were there too?
Yeah, I was in the stands, sat next to Thomas Griezmann, the EUF head, I think. Is that right? Sat next to Bob in the stands.
Yeah, Saraglia gets his stepped on there.
Oh, maybe that makes him mad. Oh no, he just pulls it. He just sprains his ankle.
Himself.
Yeah, slip. Is it a travel called as well? Wait, travel called on the initial throw, I think. Which it looks like it just about is. But yeah, he's dragging that back for a bit, and then he drags it again a little bit. It's a little bit, isn't it? So it's a bit of a picky travel call.
So it's great awareness by Corona to pick that up. I think the point with the travel call here is because he's getting that little bit of forward separation to kind of open up that inside channel. If he doesn't drag that back foot, if he doesn't shuffle forward a bit, that makes it a more difficult throw.
Dan Pritchard in the chat, got a Sussex Uni Mohawk. Welcome. Why is this your favourite game to watch though?
Glutton for punishment of sorts.
Oh wow, nice quick disc movement. Physical, but okay.
I called good bid on that one too, even though there was contact after. But that's Jeff Lindquist. He flies ball.
Yeah, it made me be like, ooh, but then he does all right in the end. And again, it could be dangerous.
He rolled the right way in the end. He rolls away from the feet. You can start to see the fans collecting at the back of either end zone now.
Right.
Just really bizarre how much they policed the sideline.
Yes, because there is not a huge amount of sideline space there.
I like this. This is a classic. I think it's Corona. No, maybe this is Corona. Maybe this is Tanaka. Yeah, I think it's Tanaka. He does this big, exaggerated fake, and then a little travel, and then he releases the backhand as he's then running, which kind of means that he keeps that separation that is generated by that fake. And then this cut inside here is a classic cut after dumping it back off the sideline, cutting inside there, and it opens up the whole field because then he could throw to this option behind and he could throw to the option in front. Let's see how the option in front got free. It's Corona. And he doesn't really have to do anything. It's break side. Just needs to run there at the right time. Really, really good technique on this catch and throw. Yeah, it's like catch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14, 15, 20 frames. So less than 2/3 of a second. Kim says, heard it, great bid. You heard great bid, so finish your drinks. Yeah, the drinking game does sound like a good idea. But I don't know whether it's a good idea for me. Sorry?
Is it ever a bad idea?
Well, maybe when live streaming to a live audience don't get completely off your face. But that said, this is could be a hard game to watch, so I might need a stiff drink. Lots of fouls to talk about, like the discussion about contact. Yeah, and it is an interesting game in that regard. Again, very quick catch and throw, because it does. The most important, not the most important things, but like a lot of things you only really get to the bottom of once they've been tested and questioned, and this is that test for Spirit, basically. And I think Spirit won out, even though this game was bad and it almost got very out of hand, because of the reaction to it, because the whole community was outraged, and because there was apology statements and stuff. We actually learnt so much more, and Spirit was the eventual winner.
I agree wholeheartly with that sentiment. Even from a broadcasting perspective, I was very biting my tongue for sure on this. Watching the Canadian team play, a bunch of my idols playing, I was afraid to call them out a little bit too, to some end. And after this game, seeing the difference that it made. This was also the last World Tournament where there were game advisors. So it made a big difference in honoring Spirit. But I think beyond the game advisors, the players were just held more accountable. Even though the media isn't monumental, but just within the community alone, to be perceived like that is unruly enough that people have avoided it like the plague since then.
Yeah, the community was like, this is not acceptable. And then everyone was like, oh, okay. So, good in the end. I want to kind of have a look at this Japan zone, see when it transitions and how it transitions, and whether how strict they are to their positions. Like, this looks like one-to-one marking because it's the closest person to their position, right? There's a flash poach here. I can maybe do this in slow motion, maybe smoother. Nice little pass through the gap in the middle. Now there's an overload of Canadian players behind the disc. I've noticed Japan don't mind about marking players behind the disc, so they're okay for there to be an overload behind the disc. But that's because I think 33 is over here. So if if we draw lines between them all, then that would be the matchup there. This would be that one there, and then you've got this, and you got that, and then you got two other players that this guy's keeping his eye on.
It's quite reminiscent of their Hasami kind of scissors style defense. Which you've got downfield, you've kind of got 2 under and 2 deep, and then up front it's a 3, roughly trying to quite straight up on the force with those other handler marks pinching in a bit, and to try and stop some deep options and prevent gaining on swings.
Yeah.
Still haven't transitioned. Now, with the defender stepping forward, it may be ready to transition here. Let's see if that mid pushes to the bottom of the screen. There's still nobody on Brandon Wong there.
Yeah, he seems hesitant to go in and mark him, but he does have a player behind. They're over halfway line now, so that could be a trigger for the transition. So you see, instead of putting the force on, he's looking around to check what's going on, see where the next threat is. He sees that he's doing that, so he lets him run there. He points just to make sure that, okay, yeah, you're going to take him. This Canadian player points because he's had a poach on him, so he's like, that player behind is free.
The downfield discipline from those defenders is, it's very good in terms of not, knowing what your job is. They know that their job's not to come and put that force on. Job is to make sure that there's no continuation downfield. So, just a quick look what's going on at the disc, and then it's back to where can I find things to clog, get into, someone to mark.
Yeah, And I think what's going on over here is he's making sure that they're marking up. And now this looks very like 1-to-1. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's still a Japanese player probably off to the right of the screen here. No, there wasn't. No, I just miscounted. Okay, a little bit faster.
Now it's into match.
Yeah, that's definitely 1-to-1 because you've got to play things like this. The player kind of trying to get around. Match up. This is like, so we can do I think this is like that, and then this is like that.
And get him.
Like that. And then there's these two over here somewhere.
They definitely went beyond half. Maybe it was negate the end zone set. Maybe it's once they pass the opposing brick.
Yeah, it could be brick.
Maybe it's just a captain changing it audibly on his own opinion of when it's necessary.
Mm. Yeah, you see that the poach comes in from the back. He's letting that separation go. He's keeping his eye on the disc and then coming in. Let's see how he gets free on this upline cut. He gets level. He does a little move in. He comes back. He realizes out of sync with the throw. He's like faking downfield now, and then he changes direction, goes hard down the inside, and then the throw just has to be early and slow, so that it doesn't overshoot, and he can catch up with it. And then a little bit of contact here, I guess, afterwards.
Yeah, that defender's obviously trying to get there, and then he's trying to pull out and then just can't do it in time. It's like that instinctive thing of rather than try and run head on into it, he's like tries to put his hands out to kind of stop it. I don't know how well that goes down.
Often the impact with the hands sometimes makes the contact arrive earlier. It seem more intentional with the person getting hit. In that case, Nick Menzies.
Mm. Yeah, okay, Hero's off. See you later, Hero. Do you wash your hands? Anyone that's playing frisbee?
This is the first time we see Canada start only.
This is the first time we see Canada play zone.
Yeah, because previously it feels like they've been going match. This time they change it. Not that it has a different effect. Japan still bang it deep.
It's so weird. I didn't think Japan just threw these pinpoint static hooks so often.
Strange. They're not powerful huckers, but that is a bomb.
So accurate. Look, he just does it. He's just standing there for ages. Standing there for ages.
Sideline, hey, check out the deep. They're deep.
It's the sideline. Oh yeah. So he must do a really good cut just here, or like maybe there's like a blown. Oh yeah. Look, so is that Anatoly?
Yeah, that's totally.
Yeah, so Totally leaves him to then go in and try and get a poach on this, and 14 doesn't pick him up, and so these two are like, oh, you got to pick him up. So then he's seen it, and then he's just winding up. And probably if he exaggerated his wind up, the defender would commit more. So instead, it's just like static to just boom. You can see technique wise, you can see him thrust his like right hip forward and pull his left arm back.
Thinking back to this morning with was it Mark Evans from Colony? Thinking about talking about how Nethercat had that really kind of easy.
Yeah, it's Mark Evans. Yeah,
has more baggage, but but there are other similarities. Having that elbow forward and driving it through.
Yeah, I was just laughing at Hero's comment in the chat, which I'm not going to repeat.
Nice.
Baseball is popular in Japan. Yeah.
It is definitely. I would say it's their national sport.
Are they?
maybe sumo associates more, but I would say more people fill stadiums more for baseball than anything.
Is it baseball that America have the World Series and it's only America allowed to play? Or do they invite Japan?
There's one Canadian team, the Toronto Blue Jays. There used to be the Montreal Expos too, but yes, it's American League that claim the World Series.
Right.
I think it's sponsored by a newspaper called The World.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but like Super Bowl, they call themselves the world champions, even though.
Wait, I kept rewinding this because I couldn't see what the call was immediately. It's a foul on the foul on the mark, and it is a foul on the mark. It was a tight mark.
Yeah.
Let's learn that technique. Very spread offense from Canada. Oh, that's really tight. Like, you got to control yourself more than that. Like, his pillar foot is there. So, yeah, definitely physical on the mark from Japan and physical on the downfield defense from Canada at the moment, I'd say.
That is not a good mark.
He just over pursued on his under coverage and really let himself run right into him and let his momentum continue through his mark.
Oh.
Hassel's man goes down. He gets a bit of clearance. Pottinger puts it. Number 6 with the disc for Canada, far side. The rain's coming down a bit now as Menzies grabs the disc, fakes the flick, fakes again.
What the hell?
But it's on it's a dime.
That was great.
It won't be incorrigible. But he lands that blade on a dime.
It looks like a bit of good. Okay, no offense to the guy. It does look like it's like the third or fourth training of university term, and you got a fresher who's just learned how to throw a sidearm. So he's like, where should I throw the sidearm? And then like, oh, the end zone. Let's go with it. But you can't criticize it because it is absolutely perfect.
For me, it's like thinking about, like beginners. For me, it's a bit like when you play in like those first games and like someone's a little bit open. It's like, I should reward the fact that they got a little bit open.
Yeah.
Force the throw there immediately by any means necessary.
It's like, but it's weird, but really he's got the eye contact there, and because Japan's not expecting it, it's viable.
Yeah, I think Luke might be referring to I showed a baseball clip earlier of submarine pitching on the earlier stream. That was quite physical. Maybe I'll show that again if people are interested in the comparison of techniques.
That one Japanese pitcher in particular was sensational mobility.
Okay, I want to rewind and have a look at the contact that was at the beginning of this. But I do think that Canada started with the physical play with the downfield defense, and then Japan did that shoulder in, right, which just escalated it. But then I haven't seen the same level of physical downfield stuff from Canada since then.
Game hasn't seen a timeout to this stage either.
No change.
And so there hasn't really been a great opportunity to chat about the escalation. He kind of fell on top. Where's the contact here? That's Morgan.
Yeah.
At this point, when games begin to really escalate, you'd see teams take spirit timeouts, but I don't know, whether that was really in the ultimate consciousness at that point.
I don't think it was.
No, I don't think there were really spirit timeouts in 2012. At least I don't think I'd seen any at that point. I don't know. Not 100% on that. Does anyone remember? When was the first spirit timeout?
I remember seeing was 2015, I think. But
is that under 23 Worlds in the women's final?
Open final.
Oh, the open final, all right. Okay, I don't think we need to watch this one in full slow motion, so should I do it super fast? Yeah, I'll do it super fast, why not? Make use of all the 60 FPS. That's a really accurate throw. Let's see that again, super speed. Ciao. Nice catch as well, because it's going up and down in the wind. And then for this cut, oh sorry, let's slow it down. It's getting a bit ridiculous. For the cut, he just powers past him. Yeah.
Oh no.
Okay.
I mean, that guy is so open. You can't not throw it. But as you say, you know, it's not with the wind conditions. That's not an easy throw, and we'll see in the next few points as well. You know, zones
Can you go back
those big overheads.
What will we say in the next few points? Sorry.
We're going to see zones that are going to try and bait these overhead expansive throws.
Liam says that spirit timeouts did exist then. But it's another thing, like, potentially this game made Wooftuff be like, right, let's put some things in place that mean that stuff doesn't get that bad again. Yeah, it's fouling on the mark, constant fouling on the mark from Japan.
It's just over pursuing, just pushing right into the body for their breaks.
Yeah, you can see why Canada kind of got amped up.
Liam says he saw his first spirit timeout, Philippines versus Italy, Beach 2011. I can't remember when my first one. I remember 2015 was quite an early one. Matsuno with the read.
Yeah.
This is kind of the first play of the game you really notice Matsuno.
Yeah, he's been very quiet, hasn't he? I see you don't really notice him. He's just there, but it's, you know, it's a misread from the initial Canada Hibbert. Bit of a blocking foul. He's got a bid on it. So if you look, 21 here gets in position early and forces Hibbert to like stop and have to start his bid in a place where he can't get it really, which is why Matsuno is able to get it. So what?
I don't think that's Hibbert in this case with that hat forward. Andy Brown.
Of course, yeah, forward hat.
A lot of timber there. He's able to use his spring. 21 now for Japan. About to put it into play. Still looking for that first throw. Gets it off in his own end zone. 88 to Matsuno again. Matsuno puts the flag.
Oh, there's some contact on.
Another.
And then here.
It looks unfortunate that.
It was, but the two throws before, and I think the foul was on second throw, but this next throw you're going to see a bit of contact.
Yeah, look at his legs. Like, maybe he's not prepared for Matsuno to be a lefty. But that's crotch on hip, crotch on waist almost. But like, maybe he's not prepared for the lefty.
This clear out cut as well is interesting because he's keeping his eye on what the disc is doing and he knows where the defender's positioned. Rather than just, you know, get way out of the space, he knows that he can just kind of stay there and kind of milk that space from yardage as well.
Okay. And then
So this is where the foul's called on this throw.
Yeah.
There's a fair bit of contact on the defensive effort too, even though it's really negated at the throw.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of unfortunate. He goes up early, and then I think the Japanese players jumping up and forwards, and Canadian guys are already like way up there. So I don't think that's particularly dangerous, but it's unfortunate because it does look a bit severe, you know. So yeah, maybe just one or two of the Japanese players are like, oh, you know, they're very physical when the disc is in the air. You know, I don't like that. And this could be a slight misinterpretation, but these things kind of add up, don't they?
Now there's just enough fuel in each of their tank against one another for the chippiness that's adding up.
Yeah.
Like you said,
It's like the perfect storm.
Yes. Something's gonna happen.
Back to Japan's 21. He flicks forward to 9. 9 now puts a big one. It's low. It's gonna be deed or not caught.
It's Hibbert going down to make sure that one doesn't get past him, but I don't think he.
A lot of great play on both sides. Now they're hooking it a bit.
Potentially a bit of fatigue setting in. Maybe they're just seeing a few options.
It's interesting that it's easier to huck into the wind than
Watch
with the wind.
this.
Nice. And then immediate foul on the mark. He did well to
Grab
catch
the
that.
ball. Those two grabs there.
Now they're hooking it a bit.
Incredible. That's the Savage who throws this hammer. Risky.
High stall.
Still, and he's got enough space. If it's a little flatter, a little faster, he's going to get there. But this play is incredible by it's Kurono.
The monster, absolute monster.
Wow.
He gets up so early.
Yeah, that's cool. And then yeah, there's the wrapping on the mark.
And this one behind him pulls the other way. That's spread eagle, full every limb in opposite direction.
Yeah. Wow. And that's a break, right? 7-6. First break of the game. Joseph says, gave him a hug, such a nice tea. Yeah, nice tea, and then just puts his arms around him. Not nice.
Benji's such a loving man.
Amazing play by number 9 to take the break. And we're back on. As you just saw there,
Was that? No, that wasn't a timeout though. Unless the graphic just hasn't been updated.
Which is possible in those days of multi-TV production, but I still don't think there had been a timeout yet.
I think the timeouts are accurate because when we get to Galaxy Point, there is a debate about timeouts.
What's going on here though? Like, did he just drop the pull? Is this deliberate?
Yeah, it was deliberate.
And maybe Canada just aren't ready.
Maybe. Maybe they're trying to trick play.
Snake in the grass.
What is that? Snake in the grass? No, snake in the grass is where you leave someone in your end zone.
Drag on the sideline.
Yeah, this is a different trick play, which it isn't. But this reminded me of a trick play, where you drop it and you start calling delay of game, or something, and so they don't realise that actually they've got the disc on their end zone line, on that end zone line. Maybe someone who knows the rules inside out can confirm whether that trick play would actually be legit.
Burgess is denying the potential for that to be a turnover anyways. I don't know if he can confirm or deny what you're saying.
Yeah, because there could be delay of game countdown from 15 or whatever it is. And then when it's in, then the offense... Okay, if the offense is signal readiness, does the defense have to signal readiness as well? Yeah, so once the delay of game goes down, then the stall starts. Okay, so there's another Canadian player off the screen here, right? Let me rewind. Yeah. So match up, and then double coverage in the middle, free person on the side. Oscar Pottinger's got the disc, you got to guard that hammer.
I think that was about the first thing that we said in chat. Was it Joe saying, the Pottinger hammer?
Mm.
Back to 33 on the sideline. A lot of little fakes. Now Pottinger, OI flick, has a man.
And there's a foul there.
Right.
Into Raglia. He's not happy about it.
17 doesn't like it at all. Matsuno's just like send it back.
17, that's Kichigawa. 29 is the same player who had the shove earlier on Andy Collins.
Ah, yeah, the shoulder.
Yeah. Shoulder. So now, this is another shoulder here. Doesn't go for the disc. Doesn't make a play for the disc.
Definite contact, isn't there?
Follows through the midsection.
Yeah. Which, potentially he's realised he's done a bid, but he's already jumped and he doesn't want to foul. But in that case, there's no debate. You accept it. It's a foul. What's his reaction?
But it does seem weird to me that Saragula he's appealing to everyone else that it's a foul rather than looking to the defender. But I don't know. Like, in a situation like this, I don't know if that's a language barrier thing where they've got Japan have a designated, spirit captain to these conversations.
Yeah, well, he kind of starts walking away after it happens. Let's go slow-mo. So he starts walking away, and then he looks at him, and he's not looking at him, right? So he goes to him first, technically, and he's just walking away, and he's not looking at him. And then he looks over just as he looks away. So maybe it's a bit unfortunate. So then he's like, okay, pick the disc up, because then the other guy's just pointing this to go back, which isn't really the right resolution. It did look like a foul. It should be his disc on the end zone line. Going up with no arm extension seems clear. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah. It's not clearly what's it called, like intentional or whatever. But I think it is a clear foul.
Collins there, he's the one reiterating the movement, and as we said, he's the one who got the shoulder earlier. It's building now. The Saraglia is going to remember this minutes or something.
Commentary back on.
89 now with the disc for Canada. Fakes a backhand. Centers to Menzies, back to 89.
Little backhand in the middle.
Menzies again. Puts it to the close sideline here. A lot of traffic.
So this.
Sideline 89 with
do you see the push?
You see the spike and the stare down after.
I was looking at someone else, but yeah. Ooh, stuff's escalating.
This is the moment of escalation. This is where they're not really happy with each other one single bit right now. There's, a lot of pump up talk from the sideline. Don't take that from them kind of talk from the sideline. It's tit for tat at the stage. It was super high intensity. I remember meeting Dennis Warzen at halftime of this, and he was dumbfounded. He's like, what is going on out there? And I think he was behind us for the last 10 minutes, which would have probably started around this point of the game.
See that little push, and that was actually before this push. this Japanese player's like any offense that comes near him, he's just like, get away from me, you go over there. Watch him
on the throw, but that's not really relevant. This is bad end zone offense and worse end zone defense in that you have two players going straight to that front cone, but they've got three Japanese players marking them.
Yeah, and pushing them away.
Like Felix, you're right. Yeah, just get off of me, number one. Get off of me, number two.
And then that bit isn't great.
Behind on there.
Yeah, that's not great, but at the same time, he's not going through him, but it is a little bit like you don't have a bid there. But it doesn't look like he follows through with his bid. But maybe he's just not fast enough. Maybe he was trying to and just couldn't catch up with him. Dun 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 dun. Oh my god!
Don't do it, man! Don't do it!
I think he's asking him what his favourite sandwich fillet is.
This guy's just showing his body. Could be asking him what his favourite sandwich filler is. Yeah, I suppose you never know. We shouldn't assume anything.
But it is a case there where this specific point, it was Japanese instigated. But when you go back to the low light videos, that Saraglia spike and retaliation is what you see as the definition of the bad spirit in this game. And it was horrible, and this is what we avoid. But it's good to rewatch this train wreck of a game like this to be able to see, how that happened.
Yeah.
There's a bit more to it.
Because not many of them would have known that he was the what's his name? Anaglio?
Saraglia.
Saraglia was clearly fouled in the back corner of the end zone, and the Japanese defender that fouled him should have known. Yeah. Like, he knows that he didn't contact. He knows that he contacted his body. He knows that he didn't even go for the disc. And the guy dropped it. It bounced out of his hand. So that was completely unjustified contesting that foul. and then as he catches the scoring point, he's got someone laying out almost into his back. So I think you're right, like so offside, that the showing just the spike is a completely incorrect telling of the story.
The story's still being told. There's more to it.
There is, yeah. This stream isn't really over. This is Galaxy Point, right?
Yes, this is
but it goes on for a while.
a couple great displays of athleticism amidst the carnage here.
At this point, championship games were still games to 17, half at 9.
Okay, travel call. Let's have a look. I mean, even that. See that. So watch his feet here. I mean, I like the attempt at the technique that he's doing, and he gets the force on the floor, but he does travel. And then this player here catches 1, 2, 3, and then there is a step and there is a step before the pivot. But this seems like a very typical travel. It's like small step, and then that last one is a bigger step. And he's already called it by this point, I think.
That's Ibsan the mark.
But this is one of those things. This is going to be interpreted as a pernickety call, like, so it will escalate it, even if the call was maybe soft, but it was valid.
That's Samishima coming in with the disc.
Samishima fakes, gives it. Oh, wanted the backhand, then gives a backhand up line.
Okay, so great bid there. Hibbert into his own teammate.
Completely cleans him out.
How is that not a goal?
The goal.
It's gonna come all the way back to. Yes, you're right. You're right. We're going to 8-8 Galaxy.
Right, half at 9. Right. Okay, let's have a look. Because it's funny. It's like, I think the mark here expects this to be a travel, so he looks down at the feet, and then he's like, okay, well, I can't stop the hook, so okay, wait a minute. And then he gets the mark on, and then this throw down the line. Such narrow separation to throw to, and then he catches it, and this player's coming in. He's got nowhere else to go, so that's a little bit like heavy-handed. He could have pulled out that.
But a tough place to pull out too. Like he did, he had justification. Oh, look at no hesitation on that. Justification to go for it. Should have put the brakes on earlier. Look at how early Hibbert gets.
Yeah. Takes off and flies. He almost gets it. And then his teammate's like, "Oh my god!" Smack. Yeah, okay, he's a bit close to the line now. And then Hibbert's a bit hurt. But he's alright.
It's Kichikawa.
And Japan back up 1-8-7.
Does he go and check whether the guy's okay? He kind of does. Right? What was he doing? Oh, I think he swears here. Ooh.
But at himself.
Yeah.
Everybody else.
Yeah. Too bad, because the original defender might have got the D. Let's have a look. Would the original defender have got the D?
Doubtful.
The disc. Yeah, it does hang at biddable height, doesn't it? Sorry.
The thing is, the Japanese player stopped and slowed down and waited for that disc too. And had he felt the pressure of the defender, may have gone up and get it. But all things speculated, would have gone up now. Go get that.
Yeah, but that's quite a high jump, and it hangs there as a thing. So I mean, and the separation here isn't too little. So as soon as that Japanese player slows down, the Canadian player will be able to bid here. Whether he can get the disc or not is another question. Right. But he could fly through past there. Okay, next point. Yeah, the crowd goes wild, Luke. The Japanese seem to be all at the back of this end zone.
live on the air, and nothing sweeter than to watch Canada versus Japan.
That's it. No place I'd rather be than here in
Where's the mark?
Japan, watching
Ah, there he is.
my native Canadians play
The world.
hometown Japanese. It's the energy here is electric.
A bit of a late switch. Let me just rewind this. So undercut here. He gets in front of that undercut, which is good. His player then turns and goes, and at this point, you've got this player's clearing out this way, and this player's making a cut under here. And you have these two defenders, right? Boom and boom. So if he recognizes that cut coming towards him, then he can just stay there, guard that space, and Matsuno can take the deep. But it's go on.
It's weird to me that after the pull, you've got someone who's got the disc wide open, and he's got the disc with no mark for quite a while, and it doesn't seem like there's any rush from the Canadians to think, hang on a minute, this is a great opportunity where we could just do some dribbling, bounce it between us to gain some easy yards.
Yeah, true. When people don't have a mark, sometimes they tend to think, oh, I can throw anywhere rather than I can cut anywhere. I just have to get the disc out of my hands. If he just got involved, got the disc and then bounced back, and then you can get flow going. It's weird that there's that massive space for so long, isn't it?
And no one really attacks it. John Hassel comes in, but by that time the disc's moved the other way.
Defense set.
If only they switched a bit earlier there. You can see the opportunity, and they think about it, and it's just make that switch as soon as possible. Stifle those cats, smother them.
Menzies moving around on that pivot foot, flicks back to Pottinger. Pottinger now moves it upfield, bit of a gainer. 91's got the disc.
Hammered up the jam hole there on the sideline.
Hassel back over to Savage.
Was that another switch? Was it on the far sideline, Joe? We'll rewind and have a look at it in a sec.
Hassel surveying
Okay, let's rewind now.
stopped.
Just quickly have a look at why the play stopped.
Hassel, top to Hassel. Hassel
He just runs into him. It's a pick.
play stopped.
Um,
Hassel,
should the defense?
Hassel,
Yeah, that's a pick because it's offense obstructing defense. And then let's have a look for the potential other switch. So there's the missed first one. And then, I mean, there's a big poach going on over here. And then there's a flash poach, classic Japan move. And has he switched now? So, yeah, so he was marking him over here. And now it's all switched. So how come? So five is marking that far one, and then leaves him and takes the nearer one. And he just takes the person that's next to him. And now this player doesn't have anyone. So he looks around. And now they're double covering him for ages. That's the problem. And that leaves the free guy over here. So this is the fault of this defender here. For not, he doesn't respond to the fact that it's not simple 1-to-1 anymore. Yeah, there's like a multi-switch. That just like you got to be looking over and being like, that's my man and this is my teammate, marking him. Like, stop doing it.
And they've actually got two people free because they've got your man on the far sideline here, and they've got someone on the near sideline as well.
Yeah. So I guess the answer is yes. It kind of is a switch, Joe, but it's also a blown switch or one. So like a triple switch. It's like a third blown triple switch.
League style rotation that someone's got going.
Sorry.
Like a Rocket League style rotation. Just forgot.
Yeah. Rotate, man. Come on, damn teammates. What a save.
Number 13.
Set back up in.
Looks like he is meant to be on number 18, and he's got back on him. Pottinger with the disc, fakes the flip, gives the
Rocket League time is coming.
got the disc. John Hassel,
Number 6 Japan is standing deep the whole time, marking no one.
back to John Hassel.
Okay, maybe his task is to just stop any deep throw. But it's not like Canada have been hucking it deep much, right?
Suno with a hand on it.
Oh, they haven't got away with too many at all.
Kirk Savage moves it to Menzies. Menzies looks to go the other way and then flicks center, almost in.
Ooh,
Wall,
nice.
Then puts it to Pottinger for the side, but that side is center.
I want to have another look at number 6.
Moving around on
You see? Do you see him when yeah, he plays the ball chasing? Yeah, it's Corona, right? He's hanging deep and kind of comes in. Yeah, okay. This is an example of how frustrating team defense can be for start-stop traditional big space offense. Yeah, true. I mean, this Canada are doing quite well, but it doesn't look like they're comfortable. What is this stoppage? Oh, it's that pick. Yeah, Canada are doing well with it, but it doesn't look like they're that comfortable. This is pretty strict 1-to-1 right now, isn't it?
A little bit of contact there, right there.
Yeah.
After, I don't know if that was intentional or not, but he definitely poised for the contact. Pottinger did.
I think this is more Japan initiating this contact.
Been in the lane.
Yeah, because he should be going and getting a mark on. I say should, but instead he stops in the offense path. It's a decision by the defense, I'd say. Nice throw and go. Stops, gets the disc back. Option over here, takes it, and that's the throw and go flick technique. Decides to clear out then. So now they've got two big spaces. Pottinger comes in, manages to get free of Matsuno for the break around. Travels a little bit, elevator backhand. That's not a realistic fake. I mean, it kind of is. I would have just faked a clear around flick or thumber, but it's kind of just like, you know, I'm faking now. Yeah, free play in the middle. That's nice. I like that. Fake that and then look around, but then Japan are wise to it. Slots it through the middle and then really nice quick release over to Pottinger on the far side. Changing the angle of attack, making the goal much easier. That's, you know, just a little bit slow off the mark there.
And now we've got Galaxy points, so the half is nearly over, right?
Oh, you would think. A snowman on the scoreboard there, Benji Rees.
Yeah, I'm going to use that one.
Looks like Canada took a timeout.
Yes.
Strap in, by the way, everyone. It'll be a bumpy ride.
Oh, nice walk after sliding catching. It's physical.
Yeah.
Physical but not dangerous. Let's have another look. Let's make it a bit slower. Takes a nice extra step. So, sorry?
Veteran travel.
Yeah, so he kind of cuts through him, tries to shrug him off. And then, yeah, so that's like putting your arm around the right side, but your body kind of going through the middle or trying to go around the left side. So, yeah. Contact called. Foul called.
Foul number one. We should get a foul count on this point, I think. I don't know if that's ever been done, but there's one.
Okay, I can do it.
Oh.
Okay, so what should I write on this foul counter?
I don't know. Fouls and stoppages. Fouls, violations, Japan, Canada.
Okay, so Canada...
In V.
1. Right? Like that? What do you say, V?
Yeah, just go F, because no, that was a foul, so put an F. If they're like stoppages or violations, call it V.
Okay.
Are we paying respect to the spirit in this game? Is that what's happening now?
Paying disrespect. The lack of spirit.
Yeah.
Respect, lack.
Yeah. Just got to remember it's just for this point. We haven't actually tallied it for the whole game at all. Nice throw and go. Oh, big poach coming in there. So it leaves this player free in the middle.
Stoppage, foul on the mark.
Is it foul on the mark?
The mark's bumpy, but there's nice synergy there in the sense, you know, picking up that poach to stop that throw going, because I think that leading pass there can go. But the force is in such a position as well, until it's too close, that it stops then kind of the throw into the centre would be the throw.
Yeah, so that would have been benefit to Japan to punish the poach. So I've put RF and MF for receiving foul and marking foul. Does that make sense? Such production value. Yeah, notepad. It can't be a notepad.
Takahashi, that is number 3. His play stops at Adrian Yearwood on the disc.
This counter's getting complex. Yeah.
Takahashi has a look. Looks for the backhand, fakes it, pops a little backhand dump. Number 2 now for Japan.
And I mean, that could have been a marking foul there on Pottinger too. He was breathing his neck.
Yeah, it felt like he held back a little bit. Okay, that's the stoppage here.
Here.
What's the stoppage? What's the stoppage? Is it
Hand up in the stack.
something in the stack? Oh, that's a weak pick. Yeah, it's that pick. Defender on defender. Hashtag.
Have those defenders just, it's barely even a switch.
What are you going to put that on the counter? WS? Weak stoppage?
Questionable pick. Oh no shit, no swearing. Oh god. Pick. Weak pick. Weak pick. I should be using Vim. Right, yeah. I made a web page in Notepad. I've made many web pages in Notepad. Yeah, we're getting scored on, so let's call anything we can a foul. I don't think he realizes at that point they're getting scored on.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Already been called before the throw went up. Like, it was clearing up from our perspective, from the camera's perspective, but they had their backs to that line. They knew they were playing end zone defense.
But also just stopping the game is an advantage for the defense. So it could be like, oh, here's an excuse to stop the game. Doesn't have to be necessarily related to the fact they're about to score. Or, you know, it might be indirectly related to that. Being like, well, can't stop the game. But I'm not saying that is the case. What's going on, Luke? You never used Notepad to write a website before. Oh, looked like he was free there. Oh, it's floaty.
Defense by Aaron Liu.
Did he hold his eye after that? Let's have a look. So this is like shoulder to shoulder stuff.
Plays with glasses on, so he may have been adjusting.
It's possibly got a little thing there. Yeah. These are just concrete files in production in Notepad before. Okay, well, I mean, that was good that wasn't called. I think it's as fast as it should be. No, it's slower than it should be. So let's just rewind that, do it normal speed.
Business here. Under the Hibbert. Down.
I know this one.
Really seen Canada with a big deep put, and then this is all sorts of wrong.
All sorts of wrong. Let's slow it down, but geez, look at what we're gonna see for contact on this. Steps off, in fact. There's zero contact.
That travel as well. Oh, beauty.
Let's go through it frame by frame. Let's go through the original footage as well, because maybe there's contact before. So he brings the disc in. It's questionable where his pivot foot is. And there's contact here. And then he's stepping with his left. Is he pivoting on the wrong foot here?
I mean, Hibbert is not adverse to kind of throwing with either hand.
Right, okay.
Maybe thinking, I'll go with this. No, I'll go with the other one.
I mean, it's a travel in so many ways because he lifts that back foot. He never really established one foot or the other as his pivot foot in the first place, and the amount of reach that he fell into that, which is also a very Hibbert-esque throwing manner. But the contact is still one I just can't justify for him to be calling a foul and then still taking their time to discuss it and not retracting.
bad foul call? Is that
Yeah.
Is that what we're putting it down as?
I mean, look at where he is when he's releasing that. He's comfortably in the end zone.
And it's such a bad throw that it's easily D'd. Yeah, it is all sorts of wrong, as you said.
It's gonna have a chance. Canada's got to set up their end zone.
So bad call from the chat.
Stall 8.
He just lost balance.
Stall 8.
And
my
so
God.
they get their just desserts. There.
Is that the phrase? Is it get your just desserts or get your just deserves?
It's definitely just desserts. The
Yeah?
tastiest kind of dessert.
I don't want to take it for granted.
What? No, you don't want to take it for Grant. You don't want to take it for Mike Grant. That's the phrase.
Who won a gold medal at this tournament? Masters.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize he played much after 2008.
He dominated the Masters division. The Australians were great. The Wombats, who lost to them in the final, but they lost to Canada convincingly. By a handful of points, but in the final, I think it was by.
So the Japanese player here puts himself in harm's way because he sees the cut coming into the front corner and he runs in, and then that's why the contact happens there. So nothing to write down for that, then, I guess.
No, nothing there. But I love the tactic after the long discussion, the horrible call that you see the Japanese player on the ground there holding himself. But I love the zone cluster around him there, just give him no room score in that corner, and yet he still makes the attempt to score in that corner with defenders there. 4.
Yeah, it's not like it's pretty windy. You can see his shorts. I mean, the spacing from the other Canadian players isn't great. He could loop something around to the back corner, and then this is all right here, and then someone's coming into attack there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where's the 7th player? It's probably over here somewhere.
That guy on the ground.
Coming back again.
Coming back again. Not sure what the call was.
Just deserves
Hibbert had a
taking
Is it
stall
for Liam granted.
stall count.
Oh, it's definitely just desserts.
Traffic.
Absolutely. Liam is wrong.
Yeah.
Ended up hitting the ground.
Hey, he's trolling.
Foul on the play. Disc been put back onto the ground right
I mean,
now.
I like that, Japan want to get the disc moving quickly. I think Canada are justified in saying, hang on a minute, your guys on the ground, let's...
This is a turnover. It's going to be a Japanese disc.
So that is a reference that I'm fully on board with.
So a bit of a wasted effort.
Oh yeah, they had a friendly slap here.
Japanese disc.
It's just like
So
yeah.
a bit of a wasted effort by the Canadian D line. They got a great D, moved it all the way.
I
up.
like Adrian Yearwood.
Couldn't
I've
convert.
never met him, but he seems like a nice chap.
Pick it up and call a timeout right away.
Oh, this can be really annoying if someone says, "Yeah, the stall's on 3."
They got a great D, moved it all the way up to within 1 meter, couldn't convert. Shabany
And
picked it
time.
up and
2,
call
1.
a timeout right away.
Don't know. There's some weird stuff going on
Let's
there.
go back and play here. Timeout by Japan after a flurry of calls in that corner. Japanese disc. Number 2, that's Tanaka. About to put it back into play here.
So this is Japan's post timeout setup, and it's a weird like 3-1-3, but 3-3 with like just a guy over here.
Number 2, that's Tanaka. About to put it back into play here. Oh, Benji has a chance.
Ooh. Oh my god.
Japanese, number 17.
Oh, and then there's a bit of a dramatic fall. And this is one of those classic. He's going to step out for the backhand, but people tend to not really predict it. And then when you do step out for the backhand, it feels like you've been massively wronged when someone steps into you. Right? We're all familiar with that, right? But like,
I mean, the reception here is it's a cluster that I can't say.
yeah.
Fuck.
Your microphone cut out there, which is perfect. Yeah. See, I don't think. I don't know. Let's go again. So this Canadian player here is the one that ends up contacting. It's those two go. He kind of goes in. Japanese player manages to avoid it. And then he kind of comes in here to try and get around on defense. Number 4 sees he's going to get up and throw the backhand. So then he's like, I've got to step around. Yeah, he's never going to get his hand properly there, is he? You know, in front of where he releases the disc.
Slapping at the forearm there more than legitimately having a chance to be in a blocking position in front of the release.
Yeah, I agree with Dan that there's nothing wrong with the bids in the middle, but I mean, it is a bit reckless to be going in there when there's like 4 or 5 people that could have been just like going in just as hard as you from a completely different angle. Joe Marmosine, do you think this is the most awful foul? See, I don't know. Maybe it's the most awful one so far. I mean, it's going to be a foul, but I think it's dangerous.
Dangerous. A very, like, Kichikawa went down dramatically, as you said. The foul was legitimate. He took space that was not his. It was very intentional. Kichikawa milked it to make it obvious for everybody else to know that this one's not debatable now that these fouls are starting to mount.
Oh, okay. Let's add it to the list. What is this? Marking foul, right?
Yeah. Yes. I'd say call it a CMF, a cynical marking foul.
And nothing from Japan so far. Is that correct?
Not on this point.
No. This point.
On this point,
yeah.
Samashima will now.
Yeah, you're right, Joe. Yeah. Yeah. There's no way he was going to get his hand in front. But he didn't stop himself from trying, even though it's obvious it wasn't going to work out.
Has a look, puts a backhand to number 3. Takahashi.
Gets a mark on the floor again with the faking. Fouling on the mark.
Will shake and bake upstairs.
Put
the backhand up the line. Has Takahashi.
Oh my god. That was almost deed by Tanaka.
A heart in mouth alignment, that one.
Let's just see how tight that was. I've seen players like this catch this kind of disc before.
Or behind him, in front. Oh my goodness!
Kichikawa now to disc.
Having a look at his
pick. Number 4 here gets picked. This player here.
Kichikawa now.
Stoppage.
Yeah, pick downfield.
I can see that. It looks like there's actually contact there.
Yeah. Could have maybe switched, but he had his back turned.
Looks like it was on the disc, maybe contact.
I'm liking this matchup, 12 versus 12. Aaron Liu versus Kichikawa.
Yeah, they've been all over each other, playing some feverish ultimate both sides, whether with the disc or trying to beat.
This is the whole,
Whoa.
it's a discussion about whether or not Japan actually had a timeout.
Claiming Japan is called 3 timeouts. Whoa. Now we've got a situation.
But they do on the scoreboard here.
They did have a timeout. They actually resolve it relatively quickly in the end.
Right.
Whoa. Now we've got
And it's one of those other things where it's still a bit weird.
Canada is claiming Japan is called 3 timeouts.
I'll turn the volume up.
We're going to the officials.
Going to the officials. Officials say it's the second.
I don't know what he was saying.
And Luke talking about the basketball foul, intentional fouling, and somebody with a stripe to preserve time for your offense on the next possession. They're usually, and I think that foul was a bit more force prevent the throw than just intentionally making contact.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Injury.
Was that a double team? You can't see because the player's off
right
the side.
Into Pottinger's shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that Pottinger's certainly trying to mirror the. I think it's Tanaka's movements.
Oof. Oh god, so much fouling on the mark. Right. Okay.
Pan onto the board.
Marking foul. Cynical.
Humping.
I don't think it's cynical in the same way. Like, he's not deliberately fouling to stop a big throw. it's just a bad mark.
Little extra gyration.
Yeah, it's nasty. It's not like dangerous or anything, but it's just like, ugh, stop doing that. Cuddling, cuddling mark.
That's perfect.
Double team at the very end.
Like a cuddling Lou.
Check back in. And it is in. Lou having a look. Has a pot.
Normally I'm all up for cuddling ultimate, but not necessarily at the same time.
He gets it away to Pottinger. Pottinger now looks, puts it
Not
up
unless it's
on
Paganello.
Lou, they're working up this side.
Yeah, I was gonna say that it's like the new Netflix and chill.
A stoppage here on a travel call, I think.
Huh. Well, it's not a travel, is it?
It is, but Tanaka wasn't looking at his foot. There is a foot drag there.
It's
So after he releases it, I think.
Yeah, you're right, it is after.
there's contact on the mark. Joe's saying that he thinks there's contact in the mark, and he calls it and throws it. Japan's trying to pull it back.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. So this is just a misunderstanding of the rules, or just an implementation of the rules. So, oops.
Marking foul, Japan. On humping, marking foul.
Marking foul. I mean, it is a foul. It's not a contentious one. Nowadays, that would be automatically declined, right?
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, as Joe says, it might have been a second after the foul.
2 or 3 years now.
I mean, now you'd probably, you might just call contact.
Yeah, thank God for the contact rule. Well, when I say God, I mean like, you woofed it.
Heavens. Rubenberg.
Yeah.
Yearwood flicks forward to Menzies quickly. Menzies back to Yearwood. Yearwood fakes the flick. Yearwood, a young fella out there, passed it to Aaron.
The Canadians. End zone.
What just happened?
Yep.
Or foully marking.
Back to Yearwood.
What happens here? Okay, it's illegal mark just because of the proximity.
And again, Canada's just trying to throw through it because they're like, well, if we can keep playing, why should we?
Yeah, so do you think he calls foul and the Japanese player contests it and that's why play stops? It's such a foul though, look at it. Like the heavy arm.
Yeah. Left arm first and then the wrap with the right.
What do we call that? Cuddling? Humping?
Yeah, well, whatever we started with, we can classify it as the same.
Marking, humping. Apparently. Not throwing.
Me is everyone. Jesus.
Yeah, I don't think it. I think you should be able to call foul and throw it. I think not throwing it is too much of a punishment for the offense.
Back to Yearwood, under an arm nearly there. Menzies now.
Pure cuddle.
Not sure if that was a travel.
I feel like there should be something about like just like a poor contest. You know, it's like there've been a couple of calls where they were like, "Yep, okay, that's cool," but then this one, he's like, "No, I didn't foul you," and like he did. So I feel like I got to write that down. So I did.
Organ on retraction.
Oh man, this is a miscommunication, big style. It's gone. He's gone. He like looks over there like what?
Oh, flicks it. He thought Yearwood was looking at him, but Yearwood just bolted up line, and that disc went to no one. Kurono now. Japan with a chance to take half and continue to hold their break if they can score here. 29 for Japan. Flicks to Kurono. Kurono gets it to 2. Tanaka with the disc, puts a backhand, centering again from Takahashi.
Right. In time.
29 with the disc, backhand up the line. They're within 20 meters now in the red.
It feels like Japan are going to score, but I know they're not.
Shams one into space on that
Haven't seen enough carnage yet for a goal to come.
No.
Takahashi.
Oh, okay, it's a cool hit.
12. Kichikawa with the disc.
Oh, yeah,
Call on the play.
looks like it's, you know, amicable.
There's 29 in Sankia. The matchup to watch.
Okay, there's physicality on this cut here. That arm is bad.
Yeah, that left leg is in a blocking position.
All right, do we write that down? Marking foul? No, receiving foul. Cutting foul. God, there's a lot going up. But then what happens though? Because he gets the disc. Maybe he questions whether he was out. Gets the disc and then he pivots in. No one doesn't look like anyone's called anything, and then he throws it. Maybe it's like a travel, or maybe his sideline says that he might have been out, and see, he looks over to the sideline and he stops playing. Just trying to work out what happens here.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Whatever it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
12. Kichikawa with the disc. Call on the play.
I don't know. He was doing like pushing motions or something.
And it looks like it will go back to
Strange. I think it must go back to the contact from the throw before, and he
almost like
waited
calling timeout.
3 to 5 seconds for a couple more passes to complete before he made a decision to call it.
It can't be.
Really loud.
Whatever.
Because they seem cool with each other as well. Sorry, Benji.
Maybe there's a bit of jostling from the thrower using his body to create space.
Let's have another look with that in mind.
Kurono jams one into space on that sideline there.
Maybe not.
Jams one into space on that
No,
sideline.
it doesn't look like anything.
Into space. Kurono now to
I feel like maybe someone on the sideline was just like, out. And then he was like, wait, was it out? Oh, it wasn't out? Okay, cool.
So you're right. It might be cancelling something and throwing it, and then just putting it back.
Calling it.
Really loud. I am desperate for this point. Both sides. 29.
So just looking at the physicality on this odd line cut here, it's like chest to back.
Now he gets it back to Lou. That with to Tanaka with Lou on him. Puts a
Oh,
big
this
body.
is
This could have a D on it.
familiar.
Hero gets up at 17,
Yeah.
goes over top of
Okay.
everyone.
That is
Oh,
Marking foul. Should we write that down?
yeah. Well, I mean, it wasn't called, but there was heavy contact.
Yeah.
Necessary heavy contact.
And that grab from Sam Schumer is quality.
Yeah, let's go
Coming
back.
out of nowhere.
Possession saves, top of empty on it. Hero puts a big
Is this him here?
floaty flip.
And does it without taking too many people out, taking anyone out. Nice.
Does the mark come onto him now?
Yeah, good thing. So he hit him. Canada hit him with the knee. I think maybe on the near sideline thing.
12. 12, the little jab fake there. One.
Oh, see, it's okay. There's more fouling on the mark, but are we actually going to write all these down? Because look at Pottinger here.
12, the little jab.
It's just over his back. Yeah, I'm going to put a little MF there,
Tanaka, beautiful layout there.
but I won't stop the game for it.
that's the second time he's laid out.
Got one NF
Tanaka,
in the back burner.
backhand into the end zone.
Not for goal.
Nobody
Be home.
Didn't actually say it. He said backhand into the end zone. I think play had stopped already.
Going all over the place.
Tanaka, beautiful
2,
layout there.
3,
Two-hander, picks it
4,
up.
That's the
5,
second time he's
6,
been out with the same
7,
throw.
8, 9. Still that called, I believe.
Yeah, it's a quick stall, but
He's looking for.
than every stall.
Yeah, it's not like overly quick. I don't think it's like
12, the little jab fake there.
Kishikawa
Once.
going all
okay, but let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stalled out 11. Yeah, I mean I was doing it fast, but
A little bit quick there, but that's a justifiable speed with the amount of arbitrary change between one person's count and the next. Nobody's getting it, nailing it perfect every time. I think
uncontested.
best call on that count very often.
Canada getting animated.
Yeah.
They want this half.
Oh, the Japanese player signals foul when he gets the disc back. Oh, so maybe it was an offensive foul.
Whoever scores this point may be able to take the game.
And they're
Wait.
all up arms.
Canada just got a timeout. Let me see what. I didn't miss it.
They want this
And
half.
the Canadians call timeout. This is the third timeout in this critical.
It looks like there's a bit of.
Whoever scores this point may
So there's something going on there with the whatever deciding the stall count. The stall's going to come back in on.
Just for our counter, we got an NF to add, as well as 2 timeouts we should put onto that counter as well somehow.
I added the MF.
Okay.
Was it a timeout each, isn't it?
And they've had
Japan have had 2 in this point. Canada have 1 in the point and 1 before the point. So all 4 timeouts have probably been used on this point.
Really? Japan have had 2 in this point, you say? Really? Okay, I'm putting Toto. Let's have another look at that. Oh, that could have easily been the goal, couldn't it?
that throw too far in front there.
Really?
More,
Say what?
just a bit more touch on it, a bit more around on that, and it could have been there.
Mm-hmm. You think the wind would help it stay in the air a little bit longer, maybe?
Huge grab earlier in this point. Now to 11, fakes a backhand. Back to Tanaka, 29 now with the disc. Kurono on this, sorry, this is Takahashi on this close side.
Oh, we lost Benji. Oh, okay, he's back.
To number 2, Tanaka.
Hey.
Puts a backhand up line, 29 now with the disc. Fakes, puts it center, 12 for Japan in the center of the field, winds up, delivers.
Oh.
There's a few down there. Hibbert
What?
looks the biggest, and he gets that big swatting arm.
It
on the
knocked
disc.
that one away.
One more.
Yeah, I was worried that was going to be contact.
I think that's clean. That throw to Tanaka, 2 towers on either side of him.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's all good. Let's have a quick look at that decision.
12 for Japan in the center of the field.
Yeah, you can't see what's going on deep, but I mean, he kind of just wants to get the point over with, doesn't he?
Everybody at this stage, they got fatigue's got to be heavy set.
And Menzies puts the disc into play, fakes a backhand. Gives the backhand. Got Aaron Liu. Puts it up line. Great grab by Menzies. Jack Swat, he's got
What is my...
four going deep.
What's all that noise going on?
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's coming from my computer, but I haven't changed any.
Benji, you
Might
there?
be having a fight with Discord.
Yeah, I think you're fighting with Discord. Okay. What happens here? Does the camera not follow the disc? No, the camera doesn't follow the disc. Is it? There is a call on the throw though. So let's have a look at that. Travel on the throw, and it is a travel. I'm writing down travel. I'm not sure whether it's relevant to the list we're making. It should be a turn though, right? It should definitely be a turn because it turned over here. So I don't know what the discussion is.
Sounds like a pick. If they're saying before the throw is all I'm making from this, so it's coming back to Menzies. I think he's got his hands up. He's expecting.
So here's the current list of. This is just this point, Galaxy point.
To give up possession now.
Clean game.
Still 11 onto the disc and still
I feel like I need to write down what this discussion's about,
where he's expecting to have it returned to.
but obviously I don't well know. But
In the middle of the field, doing a little
is
stretch.
he?
That's the ultimate show of
Bends on the field.
frustration.
Why is he gesturing over here?
Holding on to the disc.
Oh my god, yeah, there's swearing on the stream. Give the disc back, the Canadians are shouting, with a little F word thrown in the middle. So
There's definitely a bit as well where the Canadian sidelines like rip the disc out of their hands. Best bombs.
Canada may be misinterpreting the rule here because they're calling for the disc to come back,
but the disc shouldn't go back, right?
whereas the continuation rule would rule that it's turnover.
I don't think so.
Poor rules knowledge.
After the travel was called, he still threw it. That's
Right, because it's a travel call and then it gets thrown.
heard the travel call.
Turnover supersedes travel. And then they're
Right.
sitting there being like, the game shouldn't continue like this. Oh my god. I don't know if you guys can hear the sideline shouting, but it's very aggressive.
PG.
That's right. It said whenever a foul or violation call is made, play stops immediately and no turnover is possible, which would mean the Canadians. However,
He's just not giving the disc back because they shouldn't have the disc back. I've seen someone get ejected from a tournament because they refused to
I think they've got it right there.
they refused to, like, they were the one that travelled and then threw, and then they refused to have it as a turnover. They were like, no, you got me to give me the disc back. Okay, so then play resumes. So eventually, so that was like really unnecessary from the Canadians, right? To question that for so long.
Hopefully there was a cool head who finally said they're right.
Yeah, I wonder where that was.
It shouldn't take that long for somebody to stomp his feet and stick to his guns if the rest of them have figured it out. And if they're playing at this level, they should all have that figured out. 30 seconds of chat.
Right, if it's a contested travel, play should stop then, unless the travel was like properly before the throw. Yeah, I don't think it was that far before the throw, but that could be the argument. Let's. I think it deserves one more watch just because the discussion goes on for so long.
Menzies puts the disc into play, fakes a backhand, gives backhand. He's got Aaron Lou. Takes it up line, great
So-
grab by Menzies.
It's pretty smooth. It's pretty quick.
We've got a contest, 11 for Japan. Both get up. 11 able to
Okay,
win.
all right. Let's carry on with the point. So then it gets brought in. So I've written down poor rules knowledge and sideline swearing. Is that fair?
Yeah, those are good options.
Yeah, the sideline swearing is really aggressive.
Attempts to pass, which did happen. So I think
That's
we got
all from Canada. I mean,
Yeah.
we don't know what the Japanese were swearing.
Yeah, they could be constantly swearing. We have no idea.
Just
much to the chagrin of the Canadians.
sure.
Number 11 now with the disc. Moves it to 12 in the middle of the field. 12 now pops one up to Tanaka. Tanaka having a look. Bit of contact. hand
So travel
back.
call.
Trouble called.
Pottinger orders him back a foot.
Travel called. All right.
Yeah. I think it was a travel, right? Let's just watch it again. Yeah, it is a travel.
Yeah.
Tanaka having a look.
To just
Bit of
to just
contact,
reset his
hand
feet.
up.
Trouble called.
Pottinger orders him back a foot. Gets one into space. 12 hits the deck, but collects the disc.
What's the stoppage now?
I don't know. I didn't like the way he rolled.
No rolling. I think that's in the appendix.
I think it's picked in the middle.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You're rolling, mate.
Yeah. It's defenders running into each other. Nah, it's defender can't get there. Yeah, pick in the middle. Let's not think about that too much.
And Kia in 29.
Asking for sideline. Coming in on 0. Number 12. Looking at options. Cuts coming upfield. Into space.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, I'll see. I
No, we got an injury.
I wasn't actually watching it. Like I was watching Pottinger over here,
Looking at options. Cuts coming upfield.
and this player kind of being like, oh, that's too physical, and then this happens,
Into space there.
and it's like that's like knees coming down on the back of the ankle as well.
We grab.
Little
I mean, he does not have a shot at that.
That is pure backpacking. Take
Yeah.
a drink based on Liam Grant's earlier rules, but just going through the body and ending up in a piggyback situation, there's no chance at a play there.
But there's also like shirt pulling. Sorry, go on.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, shirt grab.
This is like the worst 30 frames of frisbee.
It gets
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah. See if you're Kurt Gibson here, you pull your right arm back and you twist. But he's not Kurt Gibson. He never will be.
Look at how heavy that body to body is, and you're right. But the landing on the click of the heels here,
Yeah,
would be the worst.
knees.
Compare this to that Mark Lloyd bid versus Colombia at the 2017 World Games. And he does so well to not make any contact at all. This is just the polar opposite.
All body control, no body control.
What does chat say? Tristan's realizing how long the point is. We did warn you. Little grab. Oh yeah, Jake spotted the grab as well. Luke says he's actively looking for contact. Yeah, but then that, like, up until this bid, like, the stuff that happens down here is similar to what was going on in, like, the first point. Like, very physical kind of thing. And then there's a shirt pull, and then there's the bid into the back.
Latest backpacks, if you're watching on board, and put your name behind a horrible fouling technique.
Just award a bag to the player that has the best backpack. terrible market idea. There's no such thing as bad publicity, though, right?
Yeah, the player who got backpacked the worst.
Oh yeah.
Backpack.
To wear a free one.
Yeah, when you try too much to win. Okay, this is the last time we watched this.
Then after this, I've forgotten the Canadian player's name, but he thinks the Japanese player is summing this up.
You keep thinking he's Japanese.
Gabe Sankia. So he gets his replacement, but right now he's begging to get your replacement in. Give me the disc. Put the disc in play is essentially what he said. Look, rip it out. Come on, let's get going here.
What do we put this down as?
I don't know. Heckling.
What?
General outhousery.
We got backpacking in there. Then we've got the specific, intolerance for his pain. I don't know. Outhousery, I like.
I've never heard outhousery before. Insolence.
Normally, it's not an outhouse. I'll put it that way.
Is it insolence? Is that a word? Is that appropriate? Maybe not. No response. Okay, I'll put outhousery just because, we can all learn a word.
And patrons can hear the real version of that word.
Yes. Yeah, patrons tune in afterwards for the real breakdown. Yeah, Liam pointing out landing on people's legs is how you end up with horrific injuries. It is, and this could be a really, really bad ankle injury. And he's got no remorse. And he calls the disc into play early. Like he's counting down from 3 now, and the guy's just arrived.
And he could potentially have harvested some personal animosity against 29. Remember, 29 has made a few fouls himself, but non-justifiable. But just trying to wonder why he's so nonchalant about that. Why he can make that kind of physical play and then still beg the play to resume.
Yeah, because it was 29 that did the initial shoulder, wasn't it?
And the foul on Saraglia in the end zone.
The end zone, which was a key escalating moment.
Tanaka looks for the backhand. Wasn't there. Nothing there. Now looks back. Flick. It's up. Oh,
there he goes again.
Oh.
This is where I say a great bid. Which is my foot was in my mouth.
Yeah.
She drinks, everyone.
My perspective on the ground, I think I was on my feet by this stage, but looking around, I saw the first part of the takeoff, and that.
So it's okay, Stefan. No one's questioning your, end of a 19-hour day thing.
I am.
So again, Kurt Gibson would put his left arm back and fall to the right hand side of the player, but he puts his left arm forward so that he's going to land on him, and look, the knee comes down right next to the ankle. Super dangerous stuff. And the Japanese player just rises above it and is just like, whatever, man, I'm going to play some frisbee.
Northern Viking wants another cuddle on that, and yes, it is the same guy. He plays tackles in the span of 3 minutes.
And then he realizes he's hurt.
30 seconds, probably.
Another dangerous backpack.
Then a bump on the mark, I think.
Yeah, may as well be playing rugby.
That's not fair.
It's a high tackle.
Get sent off for that in rugby.
Yeah.
I don't know. In rugby, you can get penalised from everything, I think.
So if that wasn't enough,
Oh my god.
Okay. There was also a marking foul in here, right? Just a cheeky little one. We're gonna run out of width. 1080p is not enough to handle the number of violations and fouls in this point.
comes.
Oh my, and this is the worst one, right? That is like late and low and all kinds of bad here.
Fair play to Liam Rosen. He's just like, he's straight, as soon as this happens, he's just straight up, that is ridiculous.
How did it get... This must have been after the last timeout, right? They must have had a chat in the timeout during this point and been like, let's take him out, right? That's like 3 in a row. And it's also like the compounding thing, you see a teammate lay out to catch a disc amazingly, you're more likely to do it. You see a teammate backpack someone and then rip the disc off them while they're lying in pain on the floor. It's like, oh, I guess that's what we're doing now. It's horrible. Like, it's so late.
The time he takes off, the Japanese player's already got the disc.
It's left his hand now, and he's still here. Catches it there, and he's still got a step. And then he launches straight into him. That is awful.
I mean, this is the climax of it all. It's escalated, and this is those 3 sequences there: Sankia, Hibbert, with full body takeouts. This is what defined this game, really. Absolutely out of control, and you're right, Felix. Like, who knows what was said in those huddles? Who knows if it was a little bit of animosity from player to player? Who knows if it escalated from one play to the next? But it's inexcusable, no matter what the excuse, what they come up with for their excuse. There is nothing that can justify.
Yeah, and Hibbert knows. He knows that that's a terrible bid as soon as.
Yeah, you can see there's a little bit of remorse going on here, at least. Yeah, he's human. He's human. Not like the other guy. Oof. Oh, man. I want to listen to Liam Rosen's commentary. Sorry, we have to see this again.
Oh, this is getting intense. Oh, this is ridiculous. This is not hockey.
Now we're going through bodies.
I'm sorry, but that is unbelievable.
That is getting awfully physical out there.
And some booing from the sidelines.
Nearly justifiable. I know they're playing their hearts out there. He said it's my fault.
And that really, I don't think he meant. I think it looked bad.
Okay. So Morgan Hibbert's like, okay, I went too far.
Yeah, fair play to him for fronting up.
I mean, inexcusable, but at the same time... Oh my god, what's going to happen? Yeah, inexcusable, but like, not the absolute worst in the world to actually have a bit of remorse and recognize it. Oh.
Oh, Joe, so nice of you. And Northern Viking.
Yeah, and yeah, no one does Stefan, apart from Liam trolling you.
I love Liam. It's okay.
I mean, someone has to.
God, I really Fred scored. What's going on now? Is that there's like a...
There's an injury substitution.
Right, okay.
I don't know how the injury happened, but get John Hassel on, which is a pretty good player to come on for an injury sub.
Yeah. Right. I mean, you could question it. If you're questioning their intentions, then you maybe question the legitimacy of that injury, that player coming off.
I mean, it has happened before, but I'm trusting that is, you know, someone just being genuine. You know, this point's gone on for 25 minutes now, basically.
Has the audacity to throw that hospital pass.
Yeah.
Up in space, the Japanese there. Kurono takes care of business. Now 11.
Interesting switch here.
Gets it back.
Just see it again. He's like, he's on him here, and he throws it over there, and then he's just like, nah, you go mark him. Go on. He's like, all right. I guess they want to get that matchup.
Yeah, that's going to be a personnel decision.
Nice, Liam. Just claim that you're Lorcan when you make commentary mistakes. Misidentifying one of your best friends.
I thought Liam and Lorcan were the same person.
You genuinely did.
yeah. So Stefan once asked Liam, "How are you, Liam and Lorcan?"
It's a confusing moment, and then I met him. Tom's turn. The Irish commentator was coming, and I knew it as Lorcan. Liam showed up, called him Lorcan for the first few hours of the night until I heard else call him Liam.
Okay, so there's like a trip here, and the Japanese player is just gone. Oh, there you go. He's come back. Ooh, that's like a weird like basketball hoop foul, you know? It's like he puts a ring around him and then slides it down his body.
One was, you know, like after this point, that one doesn't seem that bad. Still, I mean, that's still a foul. That's still, he's still got a good piece of him there.
Yeah, that is also a terrible bid.
Okay, so what's that one?
Terrible bid.
Terrible bid.
I mean, this is getting brutal.
A big bid again from Menzies. Puts it to the end zone. Oh my goodness!
No, he dropped it. Okay.
Of all the ways to not score, I mean, that is.
Yeah, but you know, he was flying out. But
we're down. I think he got a foot down. Just had to close his hands.
Yeah, so he's put off because this initial contact. So I think this Morgan Hibbert. Yeah, Morgan Hibbert. It's a blocking foul, isn't it?
I think he.
Yeah, that's. I think that's a blocking foul. I think he's stepping into his path, and there has to be contact.
He's definitely obstructing the lane there.
That's what is that called a blocking foul?
It's a blocking foul. I think maybe this isn't called just because I think, well, I did have the contact, but actually I just got there anyway and I dropped.
Yeah. Yeah, he did move. Yeah, exactly. Oh, hang on, let me. So they bring it in nice. They bring it in quick. And they wang it deep.
He's right.
This guy.
One excuse that blocking foul. Give them one back.
Bad man deserves another.
It bounced off his chest.
And that's just, you know, like straight through the post box.
And this point started at what, 48 minutes on the clock?
48 on the clock. So yeah.
It's like 30 minutes.
This is the trimmed down version on edit, and it's pretty much exactly 20 minutes in game between the pull and that hammer grab, which is a great grab, by the way, especially at the end of a marathon point.
Okay, let's have a look. Oh, inside break. Dump. Am I going
That's
too soon?
mark
Say what?
forward the body. Sankia was marking with
Sankia was marking what?
his back to the man, like looking upfield, looking away from his man with the disc.
Oh, really? Oof, he almost drops that. Let's see what you're talking about here. Oh, yeah, on the force here.
he's with it.
Yeah.
Second count, but
Okay, so this hammer. Yeah, he's too tired to turn around. You can see the tiredness. He really almost drops this. He's just got it on the edge.
heck of a wobble on that.
Yeah. It's that thing as well, like sometimes you catch a hammer and my cat's scared of me when I hold a frisbee. Sometimes you catch a hammer and like your thumb gets like hit by the ground and it like pushes it off, and then you end up like holding the disc kind of like that, and you're like, have I got it under control? I've got to turn over on myself indoors for that. But I don't know. I don't think that's the case here. I mean, it could be. Is his thumb really under that? Is he gripping it, or is he just pushing it against the ground? Did he change his hand on the way down? Let's have a look. No, his left hand is on top, so that would have his thumb on that side. Let's do frame by frame. Maybe there's a zoomed in replay of this catch as well. Yeah.
I've seen clean catches.
Yeah, I've seen cleaner catches, yeah. Whew, okay.
Oh, that was a doozy. So that only takes us to halftime.
We're only halfway there, Liam. We've got
Yeah, enough time. You guys want to do a quick summary of this first half then?
Away, Benji.
Wait, let's have a look. That's the final bit of this point, by the way.
I mean, obviously, you know, Steph, you can speak about what it was like, you know, actually being there, how you could kind of feel everything rise up to that specific point. It's interesting, you know, watching the whole thing and breaking it down, is you can just see how everything just begins to add up and tick over. You know, you see the highlights and it looks, you know, it looks terrible, like Canada are the worst people ever. But, you know, throughout the game, there's a bit there, you know, although I'm excusing what Canada does, but, you know, you can see how everything begins to just slowly just bang together.
Yeah. It was a crazy game. That intensity was nuts. The halftime chats were, I would say, reassuring after what we saw there. There was some calm. I heard Oscar Pottinger talking a lot about calming down, enough of that this and that with the expletives in there. But there were calming voices from the Canadian huddle at the halftime. But while that intensity it was difficult to describe. People were going absolutely bananas on that sideline. You know, it was a pretty entertaining game until that 8-8 point when it got totally out of hand. But it was back and forth, one sole break up till 5-5, and then until 6-5, or was it 7-6 break to go ahead for Japan? Like expected play with Japan playing a bit more of the deep game, a lot of zony transition stuff. Entertaining enough, but the side story was just that animosity growing and growing. A bit of maybe Japanese-led chippiness at the start of the game to some poor Canadian retaliation to the point of no excuse.
I mean, it's really interesting as well, because you think about, when that Galaxy point starts, it starts at 48 minutes was it on the clock? 16 points have gone in by that time. That's a relatively quick game. The ultimate's been generally very solid, very consistent. Like the Japanese deep game with those really zippy hucks has been absolutely on fire. And then that last Galaxy point is just the perfect storm. I can't imagine that you'd have commentated any crazier individual point at one point.
That was bananas. That's right up there. I would have to say the craziest one I've ever voiced. It's funny. I've been recognized in weird ultimate circles as, "Hey, you're that dude. You're that boy called the game, man. I recognize you. You were the Japan-Canada game." Some notoriety with my my voice being associated with this train wreck of a game.
Yeah, train wreck, I think, is pretty much the perfect adjective.
Yeah, I think you maybe overthink that people consider you to be the justifying Canada. I think people really notice that in a particular way. Plus, there is that good cop, bad cop thing that Edgar said earlier. Commentators have to kind of bounce off each other a bit like that. Okay, well, this has been a lot of fun, and we're going to head to Discord. I can't hang around for too long. Benji, I think you were able to hang around for a bit, and Stefan, are you able to hang out in Discord for a bit?
Yeah, I've got a little bit of time. Yeah, not too long, but I can hang and chill for sure.
Sweet. So say what, Benji?
Probably about half an hour or so, I think.
Yeah, half an hour sounds about right. If you want to come hang in Discord, then I'll send a link now, but you have to be a... you'll also find out the definition of insolence and outhousing. I'll send a link for the Discord to the chat now, but if you want to join, then you've got to be a patron, like if you want to join talking.
Fine, do it. Get on board. Much action for so little.
Yeah, this morning after the Ring versus Colony first half, Mark and a couple of big Australians hung about. There was a really good discussion of the impact that Jimmy and Chris coming over had, and it's honestly worth just whatever it's $1 a month just to kind of in and hear these and just talk shop essentially.
Some ultimate legends, John Greenfield, the ultimate legends from Australia that Benji was referring to. Get a piece of that man's mind. It's ultimate gold.
Absolutely.
Hear that button.
Brilliant. Yes. Cool. And we'll be seeing you two again on Friday at the same time. Is that right?
Absolutely.
And then next week, Mark Evans is back. He might be joined by Tom Tullett for the Wednesday 9 a.m. stream. And then we're actually pushing, me and Liam have decided to push this one back. So then on the Friday, we'll have a 9 a.m. stream Friday morning for the Australia versus Japan. So I think it might just be a couple of morning streams next week. But Friday, we're here at 5. Huge shout out to all of my wonderful patrons and co-hosts, and also people that have donated. Greenie from earlier today. Stefan from today as well. Thank you, Stefan.
Things, we can all do it.
It's Benji from a few weeks ago. Thanks everybody for that. I know everyone's saving money, but it's like $1 a month. You can upgrade when life is better, when time gets rosier. Cool. The Ring versus Colony analysis from earlier is up on YouTube at the moment. Cool. Thank you both of you for joining me. I will see you both in Discord in a minute. And do you want to say goodbye to the viewers?
Absolute pleasure. Thank you so much, Felix, for everything you do, and especially for today, for having me and us on here. Thanks everybody for joining. Had a great time reliving that very weird game.
It's a surreal experience watching a game like this. I genuinely did really enjoy it, and it always helps when it's not just kind of the three of us, everyone's engaging in it as well. It makes it a lot easier and a lot more enjoyable. So thanks everyone.
Indeed, yeah. I think it was it's a tough task going through this and analysing it. But I think it's a productive one. And the patrons voted for us to do it, so we had no choice. Brilliant. Thank you, Aaron. Interesting game. Yeah, don't learn too much from that one. Well, I suppose do learn from it, but yeah, I think the fact that we're commenting on it, and the fact that it caused that such a stir in the community, gives you a better idea of Spirit than if just nothing badly spirited ever happens. So it's good to kind of get that kind of perspective. Sweet. I'll see you all in Discord. But for the other viewers, then I will see you again soon. Take it easy.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, she good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.